And I've already put my receiver on 0 on a grade rod, keep in mind. So now I'm going to extend my grade rod until I hit 0. Which is right there. So now we have a horizontal plane and I know where level is at. But now I need to go back to the laser and I need to turn on slope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the Z button that's on the corner here on a simple keypad. There's only 4 buttons. I'm going to hit the 4th button. Now the Z's on. Now I'm in slope. Now I go back out to my 10-foot mark, and with my remote control, I can control the slope. So typically on underground piping, as an example, the pipe needs to either run at 1/4 inch per foot or 1/8 of an inch per foot slope. And what I mean by that is for every foot of run, it needs to go down 1/4 of an inch. So simple math on simple slope here is if I'm out 10 feet, I need to go down 2.5 inches. So what I would do is I'd take this DTEC receiver here, and I'm going to loosen it up. I'm going to move it down to 2.5 inches. And with our high-low rod, with the simple numbering system of 0 being in the middle, it's easy to find 2.5 inches. Next thing I do is I take the remote control, and there's a down button on the bottom of the remote. I'm going to push that and steer that laser down until I hit even tone. When I do that, then I know that I'm at 1/4 of an inch per foot and I can go to work. So I'm going to do that now. A little bit more, right there, perfect. The LR50, the off-road commercial laser, is designed for job sites just like this. Both with the rugged design so it can take the kind of abuse that happens on a job like this with multiple guys, and also with the functions that this laser does. One really important application that you do with commercial work is you have to take the layout that's snapped on the ground, you have to transfer it up to the roof deck. So here what we have on this application is we have a chalk line that goes across this foundation down onto the slab and back up into the foundation. And what we need to do is we need to get this layout up there about 30 feet in the air up on that pan deck. So how we do that is with this laser here, we have such a simple function on it. All I have to do is turn the laser on, lay it down, and then the laser knows exactly what to do. So I'm going to do it right now. First thing I do is I lay it down on the chalk line. The laser starts to level on its own. As soon as it spins, it's plumb already. So as soon as it spins like that, I need to do a fine adjustment and make sure that that line is lined up, the laser's lined up exactly on my line. So there, right below the laser, I'm lined up right on my layout line. The hard part, though, moving forward, is to ensure that the laser that's spinning is lined up on the rest of the line. And sometimes the lines are 300 feet long. So the hard part is getting it lined up. And normally it takes 2 guys. We have a guy on the other end yelling down to me, Jason, move it that way. No, move it back that way. And it takes a long time, and it's really frustrating. So we've changed how we do that now. The way I'm going to do it, I can do it all by myself. I use a receiver, and in this case I have the DTEC receiver that comes with this laser. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk down to the other end of the chalk line, and I've got a black mark that's on the DTEC receiver here that we call deadband. That's 0, right? So I'm going to take that black mark and I'm going to line it right up on the chalk line. So I'm going to walk down there now. So after I get the receiver lined up on that chalk line, I'm going to walk on down to the other end again, and I'm going to steer the laser into place. This is probably my favorite function on this laser. Back when I was doing commercial work, if I would have had this, I would have been unbeatable. It makes me almost want to go back and do it again. This laser here, I don't have to bend down and move this around at all. I actually just take this remote control here, and I can steer that laser into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand down on that chalk line, and I can kind of tell what side of the chalk line the laser's on right now. It's telling me that it's on the right side of the chalk line right now, so I know that I have to steer left. It's as simple as taking that left button and turning it that way. So I'm going to push it until I hear that receiver start to beep. When it starts to beep then, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of tap on that button, which is a fine adjustment, and it's going to move a little bit more. A couple little taps, one more. I went past it. Right there. It's as simple as that. All I did is took that laser line and I steered the whole laser with that remote right there. I don't need that other guy anymore. So now that the laser's lined up on that chalk line, Now I know that I can take that chalk line and put it up there. So next thing I would do is I would jump on my lift and go on up there and get to work. Now that we have this laser lined up on this chalk line here, this layout line, the laser's actually doing one more thing that I want to show you. If you look out of the top of the laser here, I have a beam coming out. What that beam is a 90-degree beam. No more doing 3, 4, 5 with a tape measure or a large reel tape. All I have to do is I have to take this laser beam here and transfer it down to the concrete here, and I've got 90 degrees automatically. Fastest way I found to do it, I just grab my speed square that I have in my pouch anyways, and I set it down on the concrete. I slide it into place. I split the beam in half. It's really easy to do. And then I just take my pencil, mark the edge of the square. I always circle it so I can find it later. And I'm going to walk down to the other end of the wall there, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I just take my speed square again, drop it onto the concrete, slide it into place until I see the beam. Right there. I split the beam. I can see it on the edge of the speed square. I do the same thing. I mark the edge of it, circle it, snap my line, and we have 90 degrees.
The LER200 off-road laser system comes with a laser, D-Tech receiver, a fixed head tripod, high-low elevation rod, full set of batteries, and a hard shell case.
I'm Jason Becker with Stabila, and the next tool I'm going to show you is what we call our off-road laser. It's one of the most durable lasers you'll find on the market today, and it was designed like that because if you look at a job site around you, you can see it needs to be pretty durable. It's a pretty rugged job site. It's kind of an amazing thing. A week ago, this concrete slab behind me wasn't there. Yesterday, that steel structure wasn't there. Things move very quick, and you need durable tools that you can count on. You can pull out of your truck and go to work, right? That's why we did this one. This tool here is a rotating laser that's meant to be outside all the time in this kind of environment. It works over a 1,200-foot range with the D-Tech receiver that comes with it. And it's designed for the concrete contractor that poured that slab, and it's designed for the excavator that dug the hole that that concrete slab went into. Moving on from there, this would be a great tool for a lot of other contractors, but it's really designed for the excavator and the concrete guy. The reason why I say it's designed for them is it's horizontal only, right? And it's designed to be outside. What I mean by designed to be outside is it's the hottest running laser on the market today. It'll work up to 140 degrees. As you can imagine, with the sunlight that's out today beating on this laser, the inside of the laser gets pretty hot. So this one works up to 140 degrees before it shuts down. So I'm going to mount the laser onto here, just like this. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of it. Because the other part that makes this laser here, the off-road laser, is this shield around it. You can see all this rubber clad around it. It's designed to take an impact. This laser will actually take a 6-foot drop to concrete. And it's actually the material underneath it that makes it so tough. It's got a material called EPP. And it's material that you'll find in the dashboards of high-end cars and even in bike helmets. If you ever look at the foam that's in bike helmets, it's meant to take an impact so that it takes it. And by an impact, we don't design these lasers to be dropped around like toys. What they're meant for is when they accidentally get tipped over, the laser's going to take that impact. Just simply pick it back up, turn it back on, and go to work. The other thing this does to be able to take a job site like this is it's dust and waterproof. And what I mean by that is it's designed so sealed shut that as tractors are moving around this job site, kicking up the dirt everywhere, it doesn't get inside this laser to grind it up. It's designed to take it out. And if we were to have a storm roll in here and it was going to rain, we could jump in a trailer, leave the laser out here. It's going to be just fine. It's meant to take it. And not only the durability made it great for this contractor, but the simplicity of it too. If you look at this keypad, there's only 2 buttons. And I can tell you that 90% of the time you're only going to use this one, and it's the on-off button. This laser here, you turn it on and you walk away. This other button right here is a high alert. And on this job site, this big of a job site, I'm going to leave it on. After 30 seconds, this is going to lock in a high alert so that if anybody touches my tripod or knocks it over, it's going to let me know that it shut off. Next thing I'm going to show you is a receiver that comes with this kit all the time. And this receiver is different than any other receiver you've ever used before. It's called D-Tech. And what D-Tech stands for is Defined Elevation Technology. What this receiver does to you is going to change the way you work. First thing that's different when you look at this receiver is the size. As things get smaller, we're building lasers that are bigger and receivers that are bigger. Well, there's a reason for it. They're bigger because they're more durable. This receiver here will take a 10-foot drop to concrete and still be able to turn back on and go to work. The other thing is, this receiver, just like the laser, is dust and waterproof, but the receiver is one more notch up. This receiver is actually submergible. You can actually drop this receiver in a bucket of water or into a puddle, rinse it off, it's fine, go back to work. It's designed to take this kind of job site, right? Next thing I'm going to show you though with this receiver, I'm going to actually show you on an application. Like I said earlier, this concrete was poured a week ago, but I can go now as the carpenter that's going to build steel studs on here, I can go around the perimeter of this and check the concrete and see how level it is. So let me show you that next. I'm going to show you a quick example of how this receiver would be used and what this receiver is going to do that's going to change the way you work. So the first thing I would do coming onto this job is I have to adjust the receiver to the height of the laser. So what I've already done is I've clamped the receiver onto 0 on this grade rod, okay? Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the height until I hear an even tone. When I hear an even tone, I tighten the clamp down there. That means I'm even with the laser. Next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to walk along this chalk line here, and I'm going to set down the receiver in intermittent spots there, and it's going to tell me how far from level I am. And if you watch closely and watch the screen of this receiver, you're going to see exactly what I mean by how it's going to change the way we work. So as I set the receiver in the next spot here, it doesn't only tell me by the by the beeping noise that I'm off level. If you read the screen, it's going to tell you exactly how far from level I am. It's going to blow you away. So I'll move on to the next area, and I can quickly see that I'm 3/8 of an inch low right here. So that's how fast I can tell that I'm going to need to change my work and the way I do it. Next spot says I'm 3/8 of an inch low. So you can see that in 12 feet I went from 0 to 3/8 of an inch. I know I need to adjust my wall height in order to be level.